Pushing my buttons.
Walking encyclopedia of rock and roll knowledge, and we are going to celebrate Graham Nash's birthday today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he's 71, and he's getting old.
Like we got the Hollies, and we got Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yep, all right. So let's get started. Dakota Housing Network. Rates, Greg. We always talk about rates. Usually
and we have them.
Big changes.
Huge.
Oh, they were huge. Let's see.
Huge.
The Freddie Mac.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be tremendous.
It'll be beautiful.
Freddie Mac survey that ended today for the week.
Right.
It's a weekly survey that ended today. They put the information out, and guess what happened? Absolutely nothing from the week before. The 30-year fixed-rate mortgage averaged 4.19%. That is unchanged from last week.
It's not a whole different from last year, is it?
And last year, we're at 4.19. Last year at this time, the 30-year mortgage was at 3.72. So actually about 50 basis points, about 0.5%. Now, the 15-year, big changes there. The 15-year averaged 3.41%, up from last week when it averaged 3.40%. 0.1%, Greg. Huge. Tremendous. Okay. So, folks, the interest rates didn't change much, so if you locked them, you pretty much got what you would have gotten. If you didn't, you're fine. You're fine.
Right.
And I think based on today, they probably won't change today either, the way things are going. So I think things will be just peachy. Now, some advice, though, from our friend Barry Habib at the MBS Highway. We got a jobs report coming out tomorrow. Okay. Yesterday, initial jobless claims, which came out today, that's people filing for unemployment benefits for the first time, decreased 16,000 down to 246. That was 7,000 better than the expectations of 253. So that leads you to believe, okay, less people filed unemployment benefits, so they probably got a job, right? Okay. The Fed, they left their rates unchanged, so no news there. Of course, people parse their words out, and then they'll get the text or whatever of the meeting minutes in a couple weeks, and then they'll parse it some more, and that might move the market for a day or something. But now, jobs report comes out tomorrow. How many jobs were created in last month or this month? Last month's numbers, there were 56,000 new jobs, 4.7% unemployment rate. Wink, wink, because that's
not.
Whether that's the actual unemployment rate or not, it's always up to debate. No, the market is expecting 175,000 new jobs for this month, for January. But Barry goes on to say the jobs report's always a tough one to handicap because it gets revised in subsequent months because they get more data in, et cetera. So Barry is recommending that you should probably lock in an interest rate today ahead of the jobs report. Would probably be a prudent move. And I probably agree with that. Why not? Rates probably aren't going to move a lot, and they haven't changed much from last week.
If they're going to move, they're going to move up.
Yep. And that's what he's saying is that if they would move, it's probably going to be an upward move. So, and the thing is, they're looking at he's looked at the employment report that was released yesterday, showed 246,000 jobs, and that shows that job growth was accelerating. And they look at the claims week, that was a good number. And what he's saying is that the market, what they're really going to be looking at now is was what happened with the jobs that were created. And within that, did wages go up? And did unemployment go down, et cetera? So they look for those little nuances inside the report to actually drive what's going to happen. So if wages went up, that means inflation, and that's what one of the things the Fed noted at their meeting this week was that their inflation numbers had went up. So if the wages increase, that would mean inflation. Yeah, there's another thing saying inflation is going up, so that would be unfavorable for bonds, which means that interest rates would go up. So that's kind of where he's at. Is if it's more like if something's going to happen, it's going to go up. If there's bad news, if it's no big deal, then they'll probably stay where they're at. So, okay, so lock them if you got them, Greg.
Okay.
It's always not bad advice, I guess.
Right.
Okay. All right. So, what else is going on in real estate?
Real estate wise, well, I can tell you that this past December was one of the slowest months in recent history.
Oh, no.
People don't want to burrow because they can't
To get-
climb over
To even look at
to
a house.
look at a house. And so, obviously, December was a pretty slow month.
Yeah, yeah.
And the results of having a slow month are showing up in the January numbers. Every year to date and all this stuff is the same. But this January, Bismarck, Mandan area, single-family homes, sales are up 13% from last year's January.
Oh, well.
January
that's-
2016. So they're up 13%.
That's pretty good.
They are way off in Lincoln, but we don't have big numbers there. I mean, the number of units sold in January in Lincoln went from 6 to 4, so they're off 33%.
Oh, well, that doesn't really count.
Yeah. So these numbers are kind of skewed. Mandan Rural is off 67%. That's one house.
Okay. All right.
And Bismarck is up 27%. Bismarck Rural is up 175%. They went from 4 houses last January to 11.
Oh, boy. Well, that's nice.
Big jump.
That's good.
So the total numbers are 76 homes sold over 67.
Okay.
And last year, total year, we sold over 1,300.
Okay.
So, and folks, we're in the slows, from
Yeah.
really from Thanksgiving until Valentine's Day. Things, that's a slow period of the year.
Yeah.
We still did $40 million worth of homes,
Yeah.
in December is a slow month. But what I'm saying is it's
Well,
it's the slower part of the year.
yeah. I look at our numbers.
That's why all these realtors go on vacation in January.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But I'm here. Call me.
yeah, Greg's here. Greg is the only real estate agent left in town, I think. Aren't you? Or now they're all coming back now
they're all
because it's
coming
February.
back, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
They're all coming back. It's February. Okay. Well, you missed your chance.
Right.
Okay.
So as you would expect, then the average sales price has gone up 8%.
Okay.
The average days in the market has also gone up because of December,
Yeah.
in January. But when sales are slower, and we have a healthy inventory now, which is good. So everything looks good that way. The general residential total is up 4%. Now that's duplexes, condos, townhouses, twin homes, everything but manufactured housing, really, that is sold. That's up 4%. The average list price is up 9%. Average sold price is up 10%. Days in the market is up 11%. And the sales price to list price is steady at 97, 98%.
Okay. Now, I was going to think, if you're a first-time home buyer or you're renting a place right now, probably not a bad time to go out and look for homes.
No, this is kind of swinging to a buyer's market.
Because it's a slow time of year.
Slow time of
And
year.
if somebody really, really wants to sell their house now, or at least get it under contract, you might have a little teeny extra bit of leverage.
Yeah, sellers are a little more impatient. The house has been for sale for a while.
Yeah, if it's been on there since the beginning of December, for instance, so now it's out there 60 days.
Yep.
Yeah, you might be able. It's not a bad time to look. So,
Yeah. I had
Okay.
no sales in December.
yeah, okay.
Last week I got 2.
Okay, yeah.
so
there
it's-
you go. All right, we're going
moving.
to take our first break of the morning, and we will be back on the Dakota Housing Network.
It's getting to the point.
Currently, it's 8 above.
The home for ABC News at the top of the hour is Super Talk 1270.
Not notifying a realtor.
All right, we are back on the Dakota Housing Network celebrating Graham Nash, his birthday today,
Yeah.
from the Hollies and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
An old friend of mine actually named his daughter Carrie Ann after this song. It was his favorite song.
Really?
He always said if he had another kid, he was going to name it Pleasant Valley Sunday.
Ah, okay. Well, too bad. That would have been interesting.
Graham Nash has really covered the waterfront in the music genre, hasn't he? How far he's come.
No, yeah.
Now he's back kind of folksy,
yeah.
kind of a little folk type.
Well, when you've been at it, I assume 50 plus years.
Yeah.
You probably
You
tend
bet.
to cover a lot of territory just because it's music and you can, and
Yeah.
different things interest you at different times with music, I think. So.
Well, even though he saw his shadow, Happy Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think
I
it
wonder-
was.
We should ask if we could get a recipe for ground hog or ground hog.
Yeah, groundhog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we're short of pork bellies right now for bacon. I
Well,
wonder.
Greg, then we'll have PETA in here and everything.
People eating tasty animals?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, those guys.
Now that there's a bacon shortage.
That's the Ted Nugent branch. By
That's
the
the
way,
Ted
people
Nugent branch of
people eating
PETA.
tasty
Yes.
animals.
Yeah. Oh yes, and did you hear about the bacon shortage? It's
I'd
the bacon
heard.
reserve. I don't know. I don't know
Right.
if anybody knew that we had a bacon reserve other than the people in the bacon business.
Yeah, do they suppose they store it in the same caves as the oil reserve?
I don't know, but Jim had it on the news on
Yeah.
1270 here today, and it was the bacon reserve is at a 50-year low, and prices are going up. So your breakfast is going to cost more.
Wow.
The price of pork bellies has gone up.
And bacon is a staple.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much better than bacon.
Not much.
That's one of those things where just name something and you put it on bacon. Will it taste bad?
Where was I the other day? They're probably not advertisers, so we probably shouldn't plug them, but there's a donut shop in town that made a maple bacon Long John.
Okay.
That was a pretty tasty thing.
It's one of those things. What does bacon not go with? It would be the question. Okay, can I put Hershey's syrup on it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That would taste good. Can
There
I
is
put
maple bacon? There's maple flavored bacon you can get.
Yes.
at
Yes, there is.
Walmart.
Can I put peanut butter on bacon?
You could,
Would it taste good?
probably.
Probably. You haven't tried it apparently.
I haven't. I did. My grandson is a huge bacon nut.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now
Yeah.
here's one for the Scandinavians. Could you
Okay.
put bacon in lefse? Would it taste
Oh,
good?
sure.
That would taste really good, I think.
Or lutefisk.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. Your
That's all right.
grandson was...
My grandson's a bacon freak, and I bought him a box for Christmas a couple years ago of Belgian chocolate dipped bacon.
Ooh.
To die for.
Hard
Chocolate
to
and
attack on a
bacon.
plate, baby.
Yeah.
Chocolate and bacon. I mean, not much can go wrong there.
No, it's
I don't
pretty good
think.
stuff.
Speaking of which, you know what I had last night and was delicious? Haven't had one in decades. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Really? Decades?
Yeah.
Did you have bacon on the side?
No, but I
Why
wish
are we talking
if I'd
about
had the bacon, I would have put it on the sandwich, and I would have Elvised out.
Well,
A little banana on there too.
Yeah,
That's
there you
nice.
go.
Peanut butter and jelly. That's hard to beat that
PB&J.
too. It's hard to
Yeah.
beat that. Decades.
Yeah, I don't think I've
Really?
had one since I was in high school.
Really?
I mean, I eat a lot of peanut butter. I love peanut butter.
Yeah.
I'm
Doesn't that-
60 years old and I'm addicted to this stuff.
But you didn't slap the jelly on it.
yeah,
all
well, it
this
was
time.
jam actually. I like jam better
Well,
than
yeah,
jelly.
yeah. Either one works.
Yeah.
yeah,
It must be jam because jelly don't shake like that.
yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay. All right. Well, this is a Dakota Housing Network. I guess that's kind of housing related. You eat it in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can eat it in your house, but okay.
Well, I don't think the shortage here, we'll do that. We'll segue. I don't believe that the shortage of bacon is going to affect the current 30-year mortgage rate.
There you go. That's a good one, Greg. I think I agree with you on that one. Okay. But you know what does happen that's important is millennials, whether they like bacon or not. I don't know.
Well,
Possibly,
my grandson is one, and he does.
He does.
All the ones
There
I
you
don't
go.
like bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Okay. No, we've got our North Dakota Housing. We have our housing conference that we sponsor every year. It's coming up
up.
next week, Tuesday
Yeah.
and Wednesday,
And
right here in
unfortunately,
Bismarck.
I have to miss it.
Yes. And we're
First
going
one
to.
in 8 years.
Oh wow. Okay. Thanks for coming.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And your wife would always come too. I
Yep.
know. So that's always nice. But anyway, we had Vance Edwards from MGIC, the mortgage insurance company, on last week on the show, and Vance is going to be at the conference. He's going to be talking about student loan debt and millennials and how they relates to home ownership. And I found an article here on from a company called Down Payment Resource, and they're a nonprofit. They gather together a bunch of information on housing and whatnot. But they're talking. They got the quotes from different places. Trulia, is it Trulia? Trulia.
Trulia.
Okay, they're one of your favorites, right?
Actually, they're in Zillow. Of course, they're together now.
Yeah.
Zillow owns Trulia.
Yeah.
They're a search engine. That's all
Yeah.
they are.
Yep.
And
Does your stuff show up on there?
yeah,
Yeah. So if you list it
Yeah.
with the MLS here, they pull
Right.
that. Do you have to
Yeah.
give them permission?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I have an account. We
Yeah.
post it. They do just fine for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
When they've tried, and I've just noticed as all those ads now, they're telling folks we're not realtors. We'll help you find. They've changed the tenor of their ads.
Okay.
There was a lawsuit between the National Association of Realtors website,
Mm-hmm.
Realtor.com, and Zillow. and they settled out of court, but Zillow, had to change some of the stuff they were saying. Okay. So they're fine. I think there's probably over 700 different housing search networks. There's Homes.com, Home for You, there's Zillow, there's Trulia, there's Realtor.com, which is the most accurate.
Other than your local MLS
it's the
website.
Same.
It's the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you get when you go out to bismarck.youtube.com,
right.
That's the local system here.
Right.
And then if you went out to realtor.com, you'd be looking
it's
at
the same thing that's posted on realtor.com.
And it gets
it's
updated.
Part of the Realtor network.
So then
constantly.
So if you went out and updated one of your listings, that's automatically going to get updated on realtor.com. Now, does it get updated on these other sites?
Not yet.
Okay.
The realtor or the brokerage that has the Zillow account, they got to go out and change it on Zillow and Trulia, and
so
they don't interface yet. However,
okay.
NAR is working on a system that will be, I'm not sure how you say it, but you go to this site. It's not a search engine. It's not open to the public.
Okay.
But the NAR will own it in conjunction with who, I don't know.
Okay.
But, so I'll go out there and I'll post my listing, and then it'll give me a checklist of all the other websites I want to put it to.
Gotcha. All right.
And I can check it on that, and then it goes out there, which is fine. The problem is when changes happen. And so now with this system, when this system comes and it's in place, then we can make the change on that, and it'll populate it to all the other sites that you've put it on.
Because that is a problem today.
Very big problem.
If you go out and look at Zillow or Trulia, it's not necessarily updated information. And you could go out and call Greg and say, hey, Greg, I see you have this house listed. I found it on Zillow. And you tell him, well, I sold that a month ago.
I just had that happen, actually.
Okay. And obviously the person goes,
3 years ago.
Yeah.
But,
And
I've taken
3 years.
Yeah,
you sold it 3 years ago.
Yeah, and I didn't post it to Zillow. It got there, but not through me, so I can't take it down.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
it's probably still out there. So, folks, if you look for a lot with a very nice double-wide manufactured home on it, right on a corner, so it's got water on two sides of Brush Lake, it has been sold.
Okay. Probably with a lot of other ones that are on Zillow.
Yeah, they're
or just like that.
But their biggest issue is the Zestimates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because what they do is they just take a snapshot of a certain area, and when you're rural, the snapshots of a much bigger area, and then it takes, I don't know what the computer keys are, I don't know how it works, but it takes a look at your listing, spreads it out all over this whole deal, and gives you an average sold price, and that's the Zestimate.
Okay, that doesn't work in rural areas.
It doesn't work well.
No.
It can be way off.
Yeah,
and
you can imagine.
Our experience here is it's been high. And so now I'm going and I'm going to talk to someone about selling this house, and I say, here's what the market says your house is worth. And it's, nuh-uh.
I saw it on Zillow.
Zestimates, it's worth $80,000 more.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's it's all a system in progress, and it's all Uber information on the internet.
So for right now, folks, the best thing to do is realize
check it with a realtor.
That may not be accurate.
Right.
So you want to just keep that in mind. And then talk to a
and
local.
Now Zillow does post that these Zestimates are a regional estimate and shouldn't be taken as face value.
People tend not to see that.
So on the internet, it must be true.
Yeah.
Kind of like fake news.
I bet you the number is bigger than the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Right?
It certainly is.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's usually how it goes. Anyway, we got a little bit off track of where I was going, but that was very good. No, I said we had Vance Edwards last week. He's going to talk about millennials and student loan debt at our conference, and they talked about that this article or quote from the Trulia chief economist talked about, is this 2017 going to be the year that millennials start buying homes en masse? So keeping Greg busy as heck. He's saying huge.
No,
it's not going to be huge, Greg. No. So anyway, we'll come back on the Dakota Housing Network.
Currently, it's 8 above.
News and Views with Joel Heitkamp. Weekdays on Super Talk 1270.
All right, we are back on the Dakota Housing Network, taking just one look.
Just
at
one
the
look
real estate
at
market.
flipping houses.
We're going to take one look at house flipping. Okay, we are celebrating Graham Nash of the Hollies and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and whatever other bands.
Graham Nash and his friends.
Yeah. Has he been in any other bands?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's his birthday. It's his birthday today, folks. He's
Happy
71.
birthday.
Yeah.
He had a couple solo albums.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Probably did an album or two with Steven Stills or something. Duo. I don't know.
He did one with Crosby, I think it was pretty
Or Crosby?
good. Yeah, it was pretty
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Mid-'70s.
Okay. Anyway, okay, Groundhog Day today, and he saw a
Yep.
shadow, so we got more winter. I think that was
Right.
already in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As far as
I-
more winter.
That doesn't apply to us.
Yeah.
They should have kept it a hedgehog.
Yeah. No. A little history on Groundhog Day. You looked this up on the break.
I did.
And how old is Groundhog Day?
Groundhog Day is 1887. They started it in Patuxawana, Pennsylvania.
So that would be 130 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a long time.
It's a long time to hate a rodent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it started out as a religious.
We started out in the Christian tradition of Candlemas,
Okay.
where they, I don't know when, but they would give a candle, and the candle would burn, and it would indicate how long and cold winter was going to be. And I don't know
Okay.
how that worked, but that's how it started.
So what if it blew out?
I don't know. Apparently, winter's over,
The winter's over?
or the Lord has returned, and that's
or
it.
winter's going to last a long time.
And then the German adopted it and expanded it, and they were using a hedgehog.
Yeah.
So then the Germans settled in Pennsylvania, and there were no hedgehogs, so they chose a groundhog.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Didn't know there were hedgehogs in Germany.
I didn't either.
Apparently.
That's news to me.
Apparently. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there you go, folks. All you need to know about Groundhog
So
Day.
blame the German people for
For-
long winters because of their dang groundhog.
Which should have been a hedgehog.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. House flipping, Greg.
Yes.
It's coming back.
Heads or tails.
Well, I guess it depends.
Right.
Right? But house flipping is making a comeback. Now, of course, on HGTV, you've got house flipping and all that stuff
And
going
they
on. There's
make
shows,
tons of
and
money.
They make money. They buy $1 million properties, and
Yeah. Flip them for $2 million.
yeah, it's just
And
unbelievable.
it's absolutely true. Every bit of
And
it.
it's easy peasy.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not staged at all.
Not staged at all. Nope. But there really is house flipping.
Absolutely.
And it is making a comeback.
Yep.
And it's let's see, just article out of the Wall Street Journal that was talking about this. It's a small sector as far as things go, but you know that there's money to be made because guess who's funding it?
Who?
The big banks.
The big banks.
Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase. They've started extending credit lines to companies that specialize in lending to home flippers.
Yeah.
Earlier in December, J.P. Morgan agreed to lend an estimated $60 million to Five Arch Funding, a California company that offers financing to flippers. The numbers of investors who flipped a house in the first 9 months of 2016 reached the highest level since 2007. And about a third of the deals were financed with debt, a percentage that has not been seen in 8 years.
Right.
Now, it's one thing to go in there and use cash to flip it because then you're not paying interest on any kind
That's
of a
right.
loan. It gives you a little more wiggle room. Investors are making an average profit of about $61,000 on each flip. That's up from about $19,000 at the bottom of the market in 2009,
Right.
according to the article. What else has been going on with that? The loans, obviously, that they're making to house flippers are short term. Usually, the average term is 7 months. Interest rates range between 7 and 12%. Because real estate investors are typically higher risks, they put more cash down, sometimes as much as 65%. Okay, makes sense. Fellow real estate agent in Southern California and a house flipper. He's been in the business since 2008, and he recently sold the majority of the homes he was working on and is sitting on cash until the next big correction in the housing market. Anybody and everybody's getting into the business of house flipping. That's when you know it's at the end of your rope. This sounds like
Right.
a smart guy.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. Yeah. that's
Sounds like a
good.
smart guy. He is sitting there. I sold them all. I'm going to sit on my cash till it starts coming down, and then I'm going to get back in. Smart guy.
Yep.
So, Greg, that's most of this is going on in California.
Most house flipping happens in a metro area.
Yep. Yeah. So, is it occur much in North Dakota? Do you think?
It does. I know of two flippers. They're real estate agents in Fargo, and they do fairly well at it.
Mm-hmm.
But they've learned the hard way.
Yeah.
And I know of three, actually 4 house flippers in Bismarck that do it. But you need a lot of homes to flip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to be on the market to find these things. And then you can't just buy a repo and fix it up and flip it, because a flip is generally location, location, location.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're going to flip a house and you're going to make $60,000 on it,
Yeah.
you probably got a $300,000 or $400,000 house, at least 3.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be in a decent neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the curses for flippers in North Dakota is we take too good a care of our houses.
No. Oh, good.
You know,
But-
if you have to have enough of a price difference from what the house is worth when you buy it
Yeah.
to where it'll be when you flip it, or it isn't worth it.
So you get no. Okay, Jim's got some music for us. There we go.
I like that. I like that.
All right, Jim. Thank you.
So most of the guys around here are pretty handy. They do a lot of work themselves, or they work with one guy and get them flipped. And actually, to buy a flipper, if you know who did the work, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, because you got new stuff.
Yeah, and they've done all the structural and they've done all the electrical, and so it's almost like new construction, but not.
Yeah.
You know that, they've done it well. One of the folks I know in Bismarck, they take them right down to the studs.
No, let's just do it.
Check all the wiring,
Right,
check
yeah.
all the plumbing, replace what they need, and redo it, and move walls, and they totally. But here's again, this is a couple that can do most of the work themselves, and then they have an electrician they work with and stuff, and I would be very comfortable buying one of their flips.
No.
Very, very comfortable.
Okay.
I have a friend, a longtime old friend actually. I haven't seen him for quite a while. In Albuquerque, and he's a carpenter, and his wife's a realtor, and they've been doing this for years. I mean, they'd buy a house, move into it, sell the one they had done, fix the one they lived in.
Okay.
Which I don't know. 20 years of living in a remodel is probably.
Yeah.
I might explain some things about it, but anyway. Then they would move out of that, get another one, move in and sell that one, and now they're at the point where they have a permanent home, and they've always got 3 or 4 homes in some stage of being flipped.
Okay. Well, and that's maybe how you have to try and get started is you buy it and live in it, fix it up, and then sell it and move into the next one until you probably have enough cash on hand, obviously, to just go out and buy one and just work on it. Not live in it.
Yeah.
You just have to work up to it.
Yeah, but there has to be, for that to work, there has to be homes in a decent location.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to move next to a meth house.
Yeah. or
whatever. I'm not saying that happens, but you know what I'm saying. It's got to be a decent location
to
make the money.
And here too, because like you said, in general, homes are pretty well taken care of, and price point too becomes an issue. Like you said, to make $60,000, you got to be up $300,000 plus.
Yeah.
And most of those homes are in probably pretty nice shape
around here
in North Dakota.
Yeah,
period.
around here.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it. The other thing is they don't call it flipping. I can't remember, but it's basically renovating. And I think you're going to see more of that. And I think you guys at North Dakota Housing Finance will see more of that, where they're buying a house that's a HUD house, and they're buying homes that have belonged to elderly folks who couldn't maintain it anymore, or an estate that didn't maintain it, or whatever, and they're doing renovation work in there, but they're not doing flipping. They're just bringing it back up to code and cleaning it and painting it, and those are the ones that'll make the $15,000, that price range for profit income for those folks. And I think you'll see more of that.
Yeah.
I think
Because really, the lower end of the market, there would be potential to take homes that do need some work.
Yeah.
Because they're older homes. There might be, 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old homes.
Yeah.
So they have more potential they need some work done to them.
Yeah.
But it's just that the price you're paying for them, because homes are still worth that on that end of the market, they're still worth something.
Right.
You just can't get the price up high enough to make a big profit. It's a smaller profit. So
Right.
you have to look, okay, what do I need to put into
Yeah,
this?
there's some spots in Mandan where there's older houses, and you drive down these streets, and they're closer to downtown, and you can see there's a real resurgence in those homes. It's really fun to see.
Mm-hmm.
There's the old 2-story farm-style homes, or what they call a 4-square home, and that kind of stuff, and they've been let down. They've been allowed to deteriorate. They've probably been rental units or something for a while. And now young folks, not so young folks, but mostly younger folks are buying them and restoring them, redoing them, renovating them. Mm-hmm. And it's fun to see.
Yeah. Well, I think that's important.
It is important.
It's kind of why keep building out all the time?
Right.
You have this housing stock that's in town, that's there already. It just needs to get fixed up somewhat because it is older. There should be encouragement to do that some way. I'm not sure what the best way is. It just let the market decide, because it sounds like it's happening in Mandan. I think it happens some in Bismarck too.
Yeah.
Just natural market forces are going to handle it. So,
They do, and it's the revitalization of the inner part of the towns and stuff,
right.
and it's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're hitting the break, and we're going out on the Hollies. What is this one, Jim? On a carousel. Okay, we will be back on the Dakota Housing Network.
Can you do the fruit to that?
Currently, it's 9 above.
The Red River Farm Network. Ag News is here on Super Talk 1270.
Looking at the world through the sunset in your eyes.
All right, we're back on the Dakota Housing Network, celebrating Graham Nash's 71 birthday today.
Under them clear Moroccan skies.
Little Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah.
America's Express. All right. Okay, Greg.
I didn't do it.
Okay, I know you didn't do it. All right. 5 weird reasons you won't get a mortgage.
5 weird reasons.
5
you won't get a
weird
mortgage?
reasons. Let's talk about that. Get a little information for the folks
All
out
right.
there. Okay?
I'm coming up with some that I have from history, but
Okay. Well, we'll see how you do
not
here.
sure that they're appropriate.
Okay. Oh, you had a weird reason why you didn't get one?
No, well,
Not you personally, but other people. Okay. All right. Well, let's see if any of these are, and then
Like
you can tell us one weird one.
felony and misdemeanor charges during the application process.
Okay.
That didn't work.
That
for
didn't
them.
work out good. Nope. Don't
Actually,
do
they
that.
weren't going to wind up buying a house together after that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't do that though. Okay. Well, number one, switching from an employee to a self-employed position.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So
Absolutely. I've had that.
if you're employed today by whatever, pick the company. Okay, you're an employee. You're a W-2 wage earner, and you decide, boy, I got this plan for a business, and it's gonna be huge, tremendous. Wait till after you get the mortgage to do that.
Yeah.
Put your plans in place.
Right.
Don't quit your day job.
That's right.
Don't do that, because self-employed versus a wage earner is a totally different thing that the lender has to look at.
And there's no declared income anymore, so you got to have what, a 2-year track record with that thing.
Basically a 2-year track record of tax returns.
Yeah.
So if you do this in
And so
July,
in the first 2 years, if you're able to write off a lot of your startup expenses, you're still not getting a loan because you didn't make any money on paper.
Right. So if you're doing this now, you switch now, your tax returns, it's like 2017, 2018, and then maybe 2019 you could get a loan. So just keep that in mind. Don't do that. Failing to balance your checkbook. Okay? If a lender goes out there and checks your accounts, and they see, boy, you got overdraft fees and all this stuff on your account. And you say, I just, I didn't pay attention. It was no big deal. I make plenty of income. But that's kind of, the lender's going to look at that and say, well, that's, not really a good way to handle your money.
Yeah,
So
history of money handling.
If you're close on qualifying to buy the home you want to buy, and an underwriter could look at that and say, you know what, I don't like this because you've shown that you don't really handle your money very well.
Okay.
So that would be a risk factor. So don't do that. Balance your checkbook. Keep your bank accounts in good shape. Number 3, applying for new credit and opening accounts during the loan process. That ever happen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet you've had a couple of those. Folks, you apply for a mortgage, just be the most boring person you possibly can. Don't go out and charge. Don't go buy a car. Don't open a new credit card account. If you're at Target or any other store that has
Don't
their
apply
own
for their
cards,
in-store card.
even if you're going to get 30% off your purchase, don't do it.
And don't pay the balance off, believe me.
Yeah.
That makes a big change in your credit,
Yeah.
and it's not always looked at as good.
Yeah. So, but really, don't open new accounts, new credit during the loan process. Don't go buy a car. None of that stuff. Just
Don't start buying the furniture before you close.
don't buy the furniture. Yeah. Don't get your interest-free thing from the furniture store. Don't do that.
Right.
Even if it's going to end tomorrow, don't do it because you're going to cause a problem with your mortgage. Ignoring small bills. Okay. Example. I closed a credit card account, but they still sent me another bill, so I just ignored it. Well, they were probably some interest maybe that you didn't pay. Another charge came through after you thought you paid it off.
Or did you just pay it off and not close it, and so your annual fee is coming around?
Exactly, yeah. So don't ignore that. Pay it on time.
I had that one.
Did you? Yeah.
They paid off a credit card, and then they just thought it was done, and they ignored it, and it came up as a hit that they had a $60 annual fee they hadn't paid.
Yeah, so boom.
Yeah.
And now it's late.
Well, fortunately, we were able to clear that one up, and the mortgage went through. But
And that somebody could probably get through, but you have to be able to explain what happened.
Right.
And it's just more hassle. And if that comes up right at the last minute, might delay something, et cetera.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Not filing your tax returns. Oh, well, that's just a bad idea from a lot of reasons, but
there's a whole, as we might say, basket of things that could happen there.
Yeah. Examples, you can always do them later. IRS won't notice, right? Yeah, they will, and and like you said, especially, self-employed.
Yeah.
You got to have the tax returns for if you want to get a mortgage. So absolutely, you got to file your taxes. Don't do that. So anyway, tax extensions though. If you file for a tax extension to file later in the year for some reason, that's fine.
Yep.
Lender's not going to hold that one against you. So that's okay. So there's a lot of things you don't want to do when you're applying for a mortgage or trying to buy a house.
That's right.
Don't do these things. So anything else you'd add to the list there?
Well, yeah, there's a couple. Don't like marital status.
Oh, that's a good one.
That can't change.
Okay.
If you're going to do something, make sure your marital status is firmly established before you do it.
Yeah. We had one like that just this week.
Did you?
Lender calls us. He said closing. And he says, this couple we had, they were not a couple till a week ago.
Okay.
And they didn't tell anybody.
All right.
Well, our program, there's an income limitation to it. So they were only going off the person's, the husband's income, okay, which he was under limit, fine. But now we've got to count. You have a spouse. We have to look at her income, and that. And so what do you do? Well, it worked out. She did not have a job. They had moved here from somewhere else. He had a contract to work, so he was fine. It worked out, but that could have been disaster,
Yeah, here's a funny wrinkle. I had one. They were buying a home in a rural area, so they had a USDA loan.
Okay.
They were just under the acceptable limit, and they were working with the lender, and we're saying, okay, be very careful that you don't add any income.
Yes.
Well, she's a nurse. She was going to be promoted to a supervisory nurse.
Okay.
Threw her way
Yeah.
out of the ballpark. She talked to her employers and said, I don't want the promotion until after we buy this house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, they were good with that. And actually, they said, well, you have to wait 6 months then.
The employer did.
Cycle. And they said, so you're going to be 6 months without the promotion. And she said, that's fine. This is the house we want and the location we want, and so that's fine. So then, just before you close, you send out your letter, job status, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
HR at the clinic that she worked at said, well, if we're going to be honest, we have to tell them that she's getting a raise.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did.
Yeah.
And it blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
And we were able to go back and get a document from the bank, or from the hospital clinic, that said, well, she isn't getting a raise yet.
Yeah.
She has one coming. We haven't paid her any increased income.
Yeah.
And we were able to work that out. That all popped up a week before the closing.
Yeah. So
You make too much money, you can't buy the house.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, you can buy it. You just got to go get different financing.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's just, man, once you apply for that mortgage, just don't change circumstances on purpose.
Yeah. Best advice I can give you is find a good loan officer, a good mortgage writer, let them know everything that's going on, and take their advice.
Yeah.
Don't think they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. And if something does come up, let them know
Yeah.
right away,
Yeah.
as soon as possible. Let you as a realtor know right
Yeah,
away
right.
if something changes.
Yep, we should know, but it's more important that your lender knows, because they're
Yeah.
the ones that can tell you what should or shouldn't happen. And
Yeah.
if they know in advance, almost all of this stuff can be worked out.
Yeah, and to have it happen a week before closing or the day before,
Yeah.
that's not good, because then that's going to delay it for sure. If you give them
Yeah.
plenty of time, you can figure it out.
So in this case, folks, it's true. Trust us. We're here to help you.
Yes. So anyway, another show
I'm
in
a
the
liar.
books.
Trust me.
Yeah. Another show in the books on the Dakota Housing Network. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you,
as
sir.
always.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Likewise, I'm sure.
All right. Have a good week, folks.